All right, welcome to the Red5tribe podcast. This is episode 1. So behind the scenes, what actually goes on, some tea, some gossip, and just a lot of training and some things that goes on behind the scenes. I'm sure you guys are interested to know. Hunt, this is your first day. You quit your full-time job to do this. How does that make you feel right now? Are you nervous? Are you excited? What's going on in your little head over there?
Dude, it's like mixed emotions. Really, it's like I'm excited. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's like something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been working hard towards it. And yeah, I don't know.
So you have a wife and a mortgage, and you're just like, meh, I don't need money. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
Good. All right. So listen, you and I, we've been training together for, 3.5 years at this point?
It's been a long time.
We've had a lot of athletes come and go.
It's been a long time.
A lot of athletes come and go. Do you have a favorite athlete that you would, if you could bring back, who would you bring back? We've had some characters. You can say whoever. It don't matter to me. I'm sure we might have some different answers.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. It's gotta be Sandman.
Sandman?
I love Sandman. Like he was Sandman was the hype man. That's
yeah, he was hype for sure.
Hype
so Sandman was he like Croatian or like Serbian? I think he said he was Croatian, but he was actually Serbian.
Let's fucking go!
Yeah, he was out of his mind.
Like, dude,
how much did he weigh? 150 pounds,
he was
maybe.
A little dude, but he showed up.
But he could move
every
weight.
day.
He could move weight.
He showed up,
and yeah, he showed up, and he was hype. And he was like blonde haired, kind of stick figure looking guy. But he brought the hype. I love Sandman.
Yeah.
So we had some athletes come and go.
That's my choice.
We've had some.
That's my choice.
Who could I bring back?
What I think about when you ask me that question is, I'm like picturing myself at a competition. Who do I want there with me?
Who do you want in your corner? Yeah.
Sandman. Dude, he's like, I remember doing a bench PR, like one of the first weeks I was with you, and he's screaming in my ear, dude. I still have the video. He's like, get it up.
Yeah, you could be doing a dumbbell row, and he'd be like, "Get it up!"
Yeah.
he just loved it. He just loved it. I think I'd bring back Bo. Bo is like a 60-something-year-old, 300+ pound old man.
You heard it here, Bo.
But this dude's a
Am I
gangster.
40?
This dude's a gangster. He was like a sheriff for his whole career. This dude, like he would ball out. He was just a dude you don't want to fuck with. Yeah. And he was super strong, and he would push me, which is cool. But he's got some crazy stories too. But yeah, Bo was good. He's just good people. Is there anybody you would not? Who's the first person you would not bring back? You don't have to mention names, but just mention names. Who'd you not bring back?
You want me to actually mention a name or?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah, I don't.
If it's gonna cause a war, yeah, maybe not. But hey, yo,
damn, dude, popping bottles up in here. Yeah,
you don't have to mention names.
Yeah, I'll keep the names out, but it's definitely
guy or girl.
Definitely 100% a girl. That's yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
What weight class?
Very low kg.
So 97 pounder.
Yeah, pretty.
You're just not about it. I thought she was all right.
Yeah, no, I mean,
she drove me nuts. A lot of athletes have driven me nuts over the years. In fact, every single athlete has driven me nuts at one point or another.
What about me? Have I driven you nuts?
Yeah. Dude, I wanted to legitimately kick you off the team a number of times. The one time, absolutely for sure.
It probably isn't because I'm always on my phone.
No, you're in phone jail.
Oh, that's
25
true.
to life.
Yeah, fuck, I can't be on my phone.
25 to life. Dude. All right, so.
That's true. No, I am 25 to life.
It would just be me and you training, and dude, your fucking job would call you. I'm like, bro, you train at the same time every single day. Just put your phone on Do Not Disturb because you'd have your phone hooked up to the music. So when someone would call you, the music would shut off. I'm on a Viking battlefield right now, about to do a deadlift max, and I'm like, this motherfucker. If I gotta tell you one more time, I was so mad, dude. I was so fed up with you. It was like there was like a good like month where you just were not in it.
No, that's 100% true.
Your head was in the clouds. And then it started to affect me big time. I was like, I would rather train by myself
I remember that.
Than do this.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill you fucking so many times, dude. But that's how it goes, dude. Listen, anytime that you put like really aggressive people in a really aggressive environment together every single day, like it's just going to pop off. I think that's something
sure.
people don't understand. Like if you've never been on like a high level sports team, like it's gonna pop off. It's like brothers and sisters. Like you guys are gonna fight. Fighting is guaranteed to happen. It's how you deal with that afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I played hockey in high school, dude, my coach was a coach. It was just straight up a coach. If you know, he told you to do something, you didn't do it, you're punished. What's punishment? Well, that's going to be going into overtime. We're going into overtime now, boys. What does that mean? You're going to be carrying a medicine ball over your head. By the way, it's 100 pounds. You're going to run around the track 4 times. Keep doing that. You're going to do bleachers on top of that. It's like nonstop. Just
Yeah, you need to teach athletes, hey, listen, there's a standard here. If you're trying to win on a serious note, this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Like they hear me talking about this and they're just like everyday worker outers who've never been on like a high level sports team. And like, oh wow, Red, you're a dick. I'm like, well, I mean, am I really a dick? Am I really a dick? I'm making you do what's required to win. You've committed so much already. Why not do it the right way so that when you go and compete, you win? So
Red's
sometimes
the asshole.
I'm always the asshole, dude. I'm always the asshole.
Nah,
for
I've
no
been with
reason.
you for 3 years, bro. You're not the asshole. I promise.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not an asshole.
You're a good guy.
I'm just saying I'm not the asshole. That I'm, especially the one that I'm not made out to be.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal. No, it's the truth though. I just tell people the truth, and if the truth hurts your feelings, you're not built to be a champion. Like you need to take criticism.
Well, facts don't care about your feelings. That's the thing.
And sometimes you need to take this criticism right now. Because what you're doing is dangerous or what you're doing is critically important. I don't have time to sugarcoat it for your ass.
Hold on. Speaking of that, you got to tell me your true emotions that you felt when we were sitting there doing Heavy Max Good Mornings. And the dude came up to you and said, you know about strongman?
Rage. Rage. Like unadulterated
Dude,
rage.
when he asked that, all I wanted to do is pretend I was a turtle and go into my shell.
So
because I was like, I know what's about to go down and I can't be.
So we do 1 rep max good mornings. And this is usually we do 3 rep max good mornings, but I typically like 1 rep max better because it's just better. But 3 rep max good mornings are a little safer because you know you can do 1. If you're doing a weight that you think you can do for 3, you know you can do it for 1. And then you can judge it after the first one and be like, all right, I got 2. Okay, you can cut it off after 1. You can cut it off after 2, or you can go for the third one because it's dangerous. They're the most dangerous max that you can do. You can legitimately break your back if you lose focus for 1 second, especially the weight that we're moving. You know, I got 550 pounds plus bands on a cambered bar, and I have my hands on the bar. I've already done my max routine. Like there's fire in my eyeballs. I'm ready to kill a human being. And this guy walks up to me, just some random dude in the gym. I have my hands on the bar, right? And he goes, hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but do you guys watch Strongman? I just looked over at him. I was just like, fire in my eyes. I was like, we're training right now. That's all I said. And he goes, I was like, I didn't even know what to say. I was just dumbfounded.
The same thing happened at Crunch. We were sitting there on the rowing machine going hard on GPP.
Oh, yeah.
Doing cardio. And this dude comes up to you. He's like, oh, you know West Side? You're like.
Yeah, I'm wearing a West Side tank top.
No, dude, we were in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
We were in the middle of a row.
Hard, heart pounding through your chest. You want to throw up. Your eyeballs feel like they're bleeding. So in the middle of it, this guy comes up to me and he goes, oh, you're a West Side guy? Because I'm wearing a West Side tank top. I just didn't acknowledge his existence.
Yeah,
so he says it again.
Yeah.
Then he says it again. And a second time, I didn't acknowledge his existence. So what does he do? Instead of being like, oh, this guy doesn't want to talk right now. He's actually dying. He's in the survival of his life. Let me ask him a third time. And I was just like, I'm in the middle of training right now. That's all I said. It was like, bro, what? Like, I don't know. But that's what people don't understand.
You're the asshole.
I'm the asshole.
Yeah, that's
I'm the asshole because I don't want to be disrupted or I don't want to be interrupted when I'm about to go do a good morning where I could potentially break my back. I don't want to be interrupted to talk to some random guy who just wants to talk to me about literally nothing because he thinks I'm cool. And it's like, bro, just now's not the time. I'll talk to anybody anytime. No, not anytime. I'll talk to anybody, but there's a time and a place for it. That guy's an asshole.
Well, what made you switch over then to college? You know, you're training college athletes, literally top tier athletes that would do the work for you, to people who you literally have to grab their head and be like, this is your path. I'm taking you down this path. Like, How did you make that decision? Like, or did it just you just fell into place? Like,
Yeah, I was a little bit of both, but college athletes, I mean, you still have to like push them hard, but it's just different because it's like, listen, you know, when you have like when you're in the private sector, you can have somebody come in and there's no obligation for them to stay. They don't have to stay. Where if you're coaching in college, it's like, listen, motherfucker, I bought you with a scholarship. You're going to do what I tell you to do because you have to. You don't have a choice. You have to do what I tell you to do, whether you like it or not. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to build champions. So do it or get the fuck out of here and lose your scholarship. So they generally tend to do it. You just have a little bit more power in that sense, where you have to be you have to have a lot more finesse and basically be a better coach in the private sector because they can leave at any point in time. But I like coaching college. My first college coaching job, I coached Division I women's rugby, and it was one of the best coaching experiences of my life. It was very difficult. I had like my blonde, shaggy hair. I walked in day one, and they were like, "Who is this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do?" Which I understand. Like some of these girls, I'd be like,
how much
you
weigh?
need to do this. I'm looking up these girls. Some of these girls are like 6'2". You know, like
How much did you weigh? Like when you
I was
were doing
probably
that?
like
How big were you?
I was probably like 185.
Oh damn, dude, you were like my size.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
that's
the
crazy.
same attitude though. I had a
Yeah.
probably bigger attitude back then, but like, I mean, yeah, I just cracked the whip on these girls, and everybody hated my guts, dude. Hated my guts. Every single person on the team, because dude, honestly, rugby players. Listen, I love you guys, but you're lazy motherfuckers. Drinking is like part of the sport. It's like the only sport in the world.
Like,
where it's
we got a
like,
game tomorrow. We're getting slammed.
No,
You gonna
after the
join
games,
in
they call
on
them drink
this?
offs. After the games, you know, it's called a drink up. So you go and like hang out with the team and just drink.
Yeah.
That's part of the sport. So there's an actual rule on drinking. I don't know if it's like NCAA rule, but it was like a team rule. No drinking 24 hours before a game, for a match. It's like, imagine being on a sport. Imagine like training with us. Or like I have to say that like, yo, you can't drink 24 hours before a meet. Like that's a hard rule. You know, like so these are wild animals, right? But these girls train with intensity. So I crushed it the first season. Then the gymnastics team was like, hey, like you should train with us too. I was like, all right, cool. So the difference is like, dude, the gymnasts, dude, crazy, like finely tuned war machines, buttoned up. They just do everything. You tell them to jump, they ask how high. They're insanely disciplined, and they'll do anything you tell them to do, and they'll do it just absolutely perfect every single time. And then these rugby girls are wild animals. You walk in like, yeah, so I was fucking this dude last night. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
I was
dude.
pegging this guy.
They're just like killing. But dude,
It's like one of your boys, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the intensity that they bring is
Is through the roof.
completely off the charts. You just do not, like, dude, don't fuck with a rugby player. Especially a rugby girl.
Can you
dude.
tell me, like, what do you think the difference is between, like, you were saying gymnastics? Like, what would be the difference between gymnastics and a dancer?
I don't know. Do you like ballet? What kind of dance are you
not
talking
ballet,
about?
but they do like the hip hop, the like, you know, like where they're part of the clubs. They
I don't
travel
know, dude. I
around.
think
my sisters used to do that.
I don't
but
know too
yeah,
much
it's
about
like-
that. But yeah, I think like hip hop is more like that type of dancing. It's more fun. It's hard. But like dancing is kind of similar to gymnastics in the sense like I know more about ballet, but like the discipline to be really good at ballet is very similar to the discipline to be a gymnast. Like they're starting at 2-3 years old, like cracking the whip on these like young kids where it's like, yeah, this is how, if you want to be the best in the world at gymnastics,
Stretch that fucking leg.
you need to start basically out of the womb.
Yeah.
And
No,
you
I
just
can
have
see
a
that.
discipline,
Yeah, yeah.
a level of discipline
Yeah.
that is absolutely unmatched, dude.
So like obviously
Ballet's
you've-
similar.
You've trained a lot of women.
Yeah.
You've trained a lot of men though too.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose between men and women, who would you rather choose to train?
I think I'm better at coaching women than I am men. I just have more compassion towards women. And I've thought about this quite a bit. So for me growing up, I don't do this now, but for me growing up, I was basically a hood rat with no parental guidance. And I was so hard on myself mentally that any mistake, there was just not, I just could not accept any mistake. You fucking pussy. You like, ever was just so mentally hard on myself, which is not recommended. You can get places, but you won't be happy about doing it. And so when I coach men, let's say like a man who misses a big lift in training, that like initial reaction in my brain is like, you fucking bitch. And it's like, I don't say that out loud, but I think my body language might express that.
Yeah.
Where women, when they miss a big lift, my initial reaction is like, oh, it's okay. Come here. It's okay. I still love you.
Yeah,
you know, like it's just that initial reaction. I mean, I'm going to crack the whip on both of them, but it's just that initial just reaction to how it is. Like I feel much more compassionate towards women versus men. Also, I think my style, you know, I mean, I crack the whip on people, and I think a lot of times men might feel like emasculated. I think that's the worst thing from a coaching standpoint. That's the worst thing you can do to a man is make them feel emasculated.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a different style but for me, I was so hard on myself that if I say that same thing to a man that I would say to myself, a lot of times they don't like that, and they'll continue to work for you, but that lives in their brain for a while, and it starts to slowly build some resent over time. And also, it's a lot of times it's like this like locking of horns, like alpha male thing. It's like, dude, listen, I'm the coach. I'm smarter than you. That's why you hired me to be your coach. I'm better. I'm smarter. If you listen to me, you're going to go to the place where you want to go. And a lot of times men, it's this like alpha male battle of like, oh, I need more dumbbell rows. It's like, no, you don't. If you did, I would put them in there. Where I feel like women are just like, they listen better, at least to me, you know. And as far as me working with women where I'm not in a power position, I prefer to work with women, you know. I'd rather have a female boss than a male boss, because I can feel the same thing where I'm like, it becomes this like competitive thing where like, don't talk to me like that, motherfucker. Where a woman, I'm much more like, that's cute. I'll listen to you. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think there's a little bit more respect there. But for dudes, I don't know. That's just how it is. But I enjoy both. I've had success with both. But at the end of the day, if you're a champion, you're going to take criticism. It doesn't matter how I say it. And sometimes it needs to be done right here, right now. And the whip needs to be cracked now, because you're doing something that we don't have time. Like, well, you know, it could just be done maybe a little bit better like this. And it would really make me feel this way if you did it like this. Like, no, fucking do this now. Like, we don't have time. Like, you're in the middle of a set that you could hurt yourself. Do this or do that, you're about to, or you're doing someone else is someone else is about to go do a set, and you're being a distraction. That's the worst thing you could do, is be a distraction to your teammates on things that are really dangerous that could hurt them. So if you become a distraction, you're gonna get the whip cracked right away. And I don't care if it hurts your feelings. If you can't handle that, then get the fuck out of here.
So like, out of everybody on the team that you've obviously witnessed, like, who do you think pulls up the hardest?
Out of everybody so far?
Everybody so far. It's been a good handful.
Yeah.
It could be like prehistoric me, you know, it doesn't have to be when I was in, but
yeah, no, I mean
yeah.
Obviously things are a little different now, but I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. I mean, I think Bree just lifted harder than anybody, and that's why she's in the position that she's in. That's why she's better than everybody.
Yeah.
You know, but that's in my like current coaching career. But yeah, I mean, she definitely went harder. She showed up. I mean, she was a pain in the ass to coach, but like she did the things that I told her to do.
Yeah,
and that's why she's in the position that she's in. You know, she killed it. She went hard. She pulled up every single time, you know, to get her to do that. Sometimes, you know, you had to put a boot on her neck, but like, that's how it goes. I don't listen. I don't mind confrontation. I don't mind battles. I don't mind like any of that stuff, as long as you do the work. You know, over the last 15 years of me coaching, I've just been straight verbally abused on the regular. It doesn't bother me as long as you do the work. But if you're going to talk some shit and then not do the work, then like, get the fuck, you know, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, that's
you know?
crazy though, because like, I remember having a coach, and dude, in high school, I was actually like, we were actually on ice. I was late to practice. So what they made me do is, I was a goalie in hockey. So what they would make me do is, two coaches would jump on a goalie net. I'd be pushing them back and forth on ice the whole practice. Right. So while I was pushing them, I'm like, you guys are such assholes. Just joking around, dude. Just kind of talking to them like they're my boys. And they just kind of looked at me, and I was like, I don't know if I shouldn't have said that. Like, after practice, they come up to me. They're like, yeah, it's like, you do not disrespect us like that. I was like, oh, fuck. So, dude, before I could leave, I had to do 300 burpees. It's like,
yeah, that sucks.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
yeah, I mean, I think that like in the heat of the moment, from a coaching standpoint, in the heat of the moment, you kind of got to take some verbal abuse sometimes, and you got to look through how they're saying it, what are they really saying, and okay, let me address what they're really saying. Because a lot of times, dude, if they're that passionate about something that they're going to be popping off, like, I'm okay with that. Like, you can pop off, and we'll address this issue right now. Later, we'll have the talk of, like, motherfucker, don't talk to me like that ever again. But, like, right here, right now, it's like if I bring that aspect and don't talk to me like that, it's just going to make things blow up because they're obviously triggered. They're freaking out. They're, like, you know, really aggressive environments, really aggressive people. I don't want to create war. I want solutions, but they need to know that I will go to war. What time of the
month it is, though.
Honestly, I don't really. To me, I don't really notice too much of it. I mean, sometimes.
Is it a full moon? Is it a half moon? Is it what?
Yeah. I haven't really noticed much of a difference with that.
Yeah.
I think that most women that I've coached that are high level anyway.
Oh, so
they're just always.
Yeah.
I think that it's more of like the triggers that make them just freak out are just happen when they happen.
Yeah. So you'd rather train women, is what you're saying, versus men?
Yeah, I think so.
So
it depends. No, honestly,
right.
it really it doesn't really matter that much to me. It's more about the individual. I'd rather train an individual who's all in and wants to be a champion, and I don't have to teach them the basics. Right. So in my previous coaching career, basically I've had 2 coaching careers. I've owned my own gym. I got an exercise science degree. So we'll rewind it all the way. Out of high school, I had an engineering scholarship. I was expelled from school. We'll get into that another time. I was expelled from school, and I went back to school for physics and math, where I did that for 3 years. Top of my class, 4.0, no big deal. And then I dropped out, and my mom didn't talk to me for a year. So then I went back to school for exercise science. And I graduated that. Then I started my own gym, whatever. So I was coaching really, really high-level athletes back then. So these are athletes where everybody was their hometown hero, smashed all their school records, smashed all their college records, national champions in college. Now I'm teaching you how to be a professional. So there's just different things that I had to teach them. It's more fine-tuning and polishing an athlete. And I didn't have to be like, you have to show up on time. Of course you have to show up on time. So my second career, I sold my gym, moved to Hawaii, went back to school in Tennessee, got my master's degree in biomechanics, which is basically the math and physics of how the body works. It kind of like came full circle. And then I started coaching again. I was like, well, I could live off my coaching highlights from before, but I don't want to do that. I'll just do it again. And the people that were on the team the second time around were not high-level athletes. They were not hometown heroes. They did not smash every school record. They're not in their school newspaper or their local newspaper. They weren't state champions. They weren't college champions. And I just, by force and sheer will, turned them into killers, right? So the coaching was just different the second time around, where I had to be much better at coaching from like an emotional intelligence standpoint, where before is like, do this, okay, done. So I had to be a lot smarter from like the academic standpoint, because they pretty much do whatever I told them to do. Now I'm not saying we didn't have explosions and full on like kicking chalk buckets entirely across the gym, and I mean there was they're emotional and they're really aggressive, and that's just how it goes. That's fine by me, but it was just a different type of coaching, because they already knew the discipline and what it takes to be at that level. I just had to fine tune them. Now do this specific thing, do it specifically like this.
Yeah.
Go home, you're fatigued and you look like dog shit. Go home and rest. Rest is what you need right now, not more intensity than be in the parking lot ripping out push-ups and bicep curls. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Where the second time around was like, you need to show up on time. Like, we had a girl move here from out of state, and I told her, I was like, all right, we show up at 8 o'clock. Don't be late. This is the day before. She's already moved here. I've never met her in person ever in my life. Hey, we show up at 8 o'clock. Don't be late. Told her 2 times the day before. She shows up at 8:08. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. And I was like, you're late. She's like, oh, ha. I was like, no, you're fucking late. Don't ever be late ever again. The look in her eyes was like, what did I just get myself into?
I won't forget that day, dude. I remember that.
I'll never forget that day
I was
either.
sitting there, like, ooh, that's not good. Like,
Not
I heard
good.
you already pissed before she even came in. I was like, this isn't
She's
good.
gonna get
It's
chewed
not a
out
good
day
look.
one. If
She's gonna
you
get
think
fucked up right
that
now.
I'm gonna like, oh, it's day one. No, this is the standard. That's how it goes. It's that simple. So people are like, oh, I'm trying my best. Like, I don't give a fuck. You need to do what's required of you to win. Those are two entirely different things. Now, every day, your best is going to be different day to day, right? But like, you need to do what's required of you to win. And if you can't show up to the place that you're going to be every single day on time, you just don't have the skill set to be a champion. Now, I get it. Day one, whatever. But like, that was more of just like setting the tone of, this is how things roll here. We do not fucking play games. Show up on time or you will get your ass chewed out every single day until you do, or you just be gone.
It's weird. It always seems to end in the deadly duo, is what I say.
How many times have I cracked the whip on you?
Yeah, a good handful of times.
Many times.
Yeah, good handful of times, I'd say. But
Many times.
I take criticism well.
Yeah, you've cracked the whip on me too, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd say, fuck it. Uno
Yeah.
flip card right back to
Yeah,
you.
no,
buddy.
recently from me being on my phone. Yeah, listen, if
Yeah.
you're on your phone and you're doing serious training, like, get the fuck off
I'm going
your
to call
phone.
you out.
You're going to get
for
called
sure.
out. Because
I'm going to call Red out no matter what.
Yeah,
Hey,
especially if you're training with someone
I'm on phone
else.
jail. You're in phone jail, too.
Yeah, no, I was, texting somebody.
25 to life, you, too.
Listen, you know
Right
me,
now
though.
on the podcast, 25 to life right
no,
now.
I'm not doing 25 to life for that. But like, that's not a 25 to life scenario. That's a 3 to 5. I served my 3 to 5.
3 to 5 years, you might get probation.
I served
but
my time.
we'll
I'm
put
out
it
on
in court,
parole.
see what happens.
But no, I was texting somebody,
Yeah.
and
No, my last one was
Can't be
like,
doing
no, my last one was you took the weight before I was like,
oh
well,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, don't fucking touch the bar.
No, that's fair. That's fair
That's kind of the
criticism.
moment though too. I kind of felt bad. I was like,
No.
but
Yeah, no, I jumped in a little too early on the spot.
all right.
I can admit that, but that's rare. That's rare for me. But yeah, you were pissed off about it, and that's the thing is like,
But
if
guess what? We're over at the next lift.
Yeah.
Oh, good lift. Boom, knocks again. It's
That's
like
what I'm
all
saying. Like people, like I dish out criticism, but I can handle it. I'm not like a bitch about it. If you were obviously upset and you were right though. Like I should have let you die out there. But to me, it was just like, all right, you were coming over your face with the bar. It didn't seem like you're gonna make it. But I should have let that pan out a little bit longer.
I was working on those JM presses.
Yeah, I should have let it pan out a little bit longer. Those are the facts. And you were pissed off about it instead of me being like, my feelings are hurt. I was like, yeah, I mean, he was probably right.
You're like, yeah, whatever.
I jumped in a little too early. I'm not gonna, like whatever. Like I'm not gonna be all butthurt about it because he yelled at me. He was right. So we're also in an environment where we're basically on fire.
Yeah.
It's just like the intensity is so high that of course people are gonna pop off, dude. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I don't
Dude,
understand.
it's crazy that you've been in the game for a long time, dude. Like, I asked you about guys versus women on training. Like, what do you think about the influencing world? Like, who do you think's like taking over the
Oh,
influencing world when it comes to guys versus women?
I mean, girl influencers just have it way easier than guys, for sure. Girls, it's like, I was watching a video today. This girl was doing leg curls. You couldn't even see her doing leg curls. It was just like directly into her vagina.
I just remember when Instagram used to be so big on like posting a photo and you just being famous. Like you if you were like an aesthetic guy or if you were just jacked, like you were just instantly
You could
famous
just kill
where
it,
you could
yeah.
just post photos. And now it's like I have to spend 30 minutes on editing a video on the minimum to potentially make it pop. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's all about reels. It's all about videos now. Because people, Instagram, I guess you can make anything pop, dude. You know what I mean? If you're like, there's still models out there that are killing it just because they're insanely hot, guys and girls. But for the average person, you got to be given some sort of value in a video format, which is a lot different. And dude, it's tough because you have to hook people every single clip. If you're doing a 30-second video, you have to re-hook people over and over and over and over and over again. Or there's just so much information out there, you just swipe. So you have to be a good storyteller. And that's ultimately what you're doing in your clips is telling a story that you got to keep people engaged. It's hard. And I think the attention span on TikTok is 1.5 seconds or something. Instagram's a little bit longer. Imagine YouTube. People are on
It just seems
YouTube.
like it's long for him now. Just They
Well,
they
yeah,
want you to
TikTok
push.
has switched, but still, like people's
Yeah.
attention span is
Dude, like those
short.
movie scenes, I get stuck on the movie scenes. So I'd be
Dude,
scrolling
same.
for
I've been watching
hours.
Game of Thrones
Bro,
since.
like,
I'm like,
you just like part 1, part 2, part 3,
Yeah.
part 4.
But
and
they
you're
don't
just,
even
like,
have-
You're searching like, where's the part 5?
I just want to watch the whole episode at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
And you're so like pissed off because you can't find the part 5 because they don't have it out yet. So
Yeah.
you follow them. Dude, it's genius.
Yeah, no, it really
It's like-
is, and that seems what they're moving towards. But I get a lot of it's an interesting world being like an influencer, and I kind of hate the term content creator. That's like a new age word for influencer. Like, oh, I'm not an influencer. That's like derogatory. I'm a content creator. It's like, it's not that serious. You're in a, like, just call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah, content creator, if that makes you feel better. We make videos for the internet. It's not that serious. But
Yeah, from experience, day 1 of being an influencer, I agree.
yeah.
No, I did feel very welcomed though, dude. Like being in the gym and telling everybody like, "Hey, I just quit my job." They're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" Like I don't know really what I expected from people, but it's like, yeah, it's just kind of crazy how they open arms. Everybody's just like, "Yeah, welcome to." It's like community. It's a community.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
I
awesome.
also think it's a world that people don't really understand. This shit's harder than it looks. Like you have to create content, good content, all the time, and all these platforms are like, "What have you done for me lately?" So you can be killing it one day, and then if you just don't create good content, they're like, "All right, well, smell you later." So it's hard, and I think a lot of the people that are in it, they understand the struggle. So when you're like, "Yeah, I quit my job to this full time," like, "Yo, let's do this."
Do you
man.
remember like how long ago it was when you hit 100K? Can't think about.
On what, Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah, no, on TikTok.
On TikTok. No, I do remember. So it was like in, I want to say like January. I forget what year, maybe 2021. I was at like 65,000 in like late winter or like late fall, like December or something. And I made a goal. I was like, I want to hit 100,000 by the end of this upcoming year. And I got to 100,000 in like January. And I was like, that's when it started to pop off. And I was like, oh, snap. Because I remember I set a goal. It's like, yo, if I get 100,000 on TikTok, that's going to be crazy. And then I hit it. And I was like, yo, that is way under. Like, you can blow this up for real. Because I was like, I got there with my content just getting better and better and better. And yeah, I remember hitting that feeling like a G, but also feeling like, nah, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I remember like you being at like 9999999, almost a million. I'm like waiting. Did I keep refreshing your page? I'm like, come on, hit that milli. Like,
Yeah, that was a cool
I was
feeling.
excited for you. Dude.
Yeah,
I
hitting
got
a
to
million
see you
was
for
cool.
the past 3 years. Literally go from ground zero to all the way up.
Yeah,
you
hitting a
literally
million was
just
cool.
like driving around your little like your old Honda Accord.
Yeah,
dude.
95 Honda
Yeah,
Accord.
95 Honda Accord. I'm trying to fix it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, time to get a new car.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
Yeah.
changed my life quite a bit. So it's pretty cool, man. Like, it's also kind of weird still. Like, people will come out to me just like on the streets and be like, oh, your Red5 performance. I'm like, I always try to.
I feel like influencers never talk about how that makes them feel. But like you said, I remember you telling me like, oh, that it's not as like exciting as you think. Because people are like, oh, I'd love to be famous. But it's like, oh, is it really that exciting to be famous?
Well,
You
I
know
mean,
what
I wouldn't say I'm famous. Like,
Yeah, but
maybe,
to have that feeling,
maybe like
no,
fitness,
yeah,
internet
but just to be
famous.
like, have people like come up to you, dude. They see you online. That's kind of cool. You got to be like well known.
Yeah, people come
Or
up to me
people
like
come up to you
coffee
off the
shops and
streets.
gyms
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of stuff. But yeah, it's sometimes like I like get social anxiety about this sometimes because I want to make the experience really awesome for somebody. I remember when I was a young coach. This was years and years and years ago. This one coach I looked up to. We were at this big time competition. And I saw him outside of the competition at Starbucks. I wanted to talk to him. He was such a dick. And I was just like heartbroken. I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, fire in my eyes. Like, brought out my axe and shield. I was like, I will never lose this motherfucker ever again. And I never did. But, like, it was just so heartbreaking, dude, because I looked up to that guy a lot. He was a smart coach. And I was like, bro, like, you're not that cool.
So when people meet you, you just want
I try to be super cool, yeah.
super cool.
But sometimes
Yeah,
people
yeah.
make it hard to be cool. It's like, bro, like, have a little bit of social awareness. Like, I try to be cool with people, but like, don't come up to me, start a conversation, then make me carry the conversation.
No, I love it when people come up to you and they're like, "Hey,"
Yeah, it's
they
so
just
weird,
stare
bro.
at you.
It's
They're
so
like,
weird.
"My name is so and so," and then you're like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, no, if someone's like, yeah, like, first, like, listen, if you ever see me out, dude, I'll talk to anybody. Say hi, but tell me where you know me from. be like, oh, I follow you on this platform. All right, cool. Versus somebody come up to me, it's like, hey, you're like,
hey, how's it going? Like,
Yeah.
you know each other.
Yeah, like, where do I know you from? Do you know me from years ago that like you don't like me? Like, are we about to have a confrontation? Like, what my brain just goes crazy and just gets social anxiety. It's like, I want to make the experience good, but I don't know where I know you from. Like, I need to be like on guard right now. Do you know somebody that really doesn't like me? Just tell me how you know me. I promise I'll be cool. I'll take a picture with you. It'll be cool. And like, everything's gonna be fine. I really, because some people you can really make their day. You know what I mean? It's like, I never want to be a dick to somebody like that, because that happened to me, dude. And it was really kind of devastating for real. Like, I was young. I was a young man, so instead of being like emotional about it, I was just like on a warpath about it.
Yeah.
But like, I can see how that kind of hurts people's feelings sometimes. You know?
What about like online, dude? You get a lot of you probably get a lot more interaction online, obviously, like comments and stuff. Like,
yeah, no,
you know,
I
good
get mostly,
versus bad comments. I'm sure you get hate
comments
all the time, dude.
Yeah, actually, most of the comments I get are overwhelmingly positive. Like, the trolls they don't really bother me, because it's like, all right, obviously you're just miserable with your life, and this is helping me through engagement and things like that. But the worst comments that I get are people that are like, they're like genuinely looking for help, but they just don't understand. They'll be like, hey, I have this like super specific injury that only applies to me. I'm like, bro, like, you need to go to a doctor. Like, you can't get this information from the internet, whether it's from me or from anybody else. Like, you need to be assessed by a doctor, or someone be like, hey, my knee hurts. How do I fix it? It's like, dude, I want to help. That's why there's the worst comments, because I want to help, but I just, they don't understand that I can't help you. It's like going to a mechanic, like, hey, my car's broke. What's wrong with it? They're like, well, I don't know, dude. I need to like look at it, assess it, figure it out. There's a million things that could be causing this, and I don't have any information from you, so I just simply cannot answer this.
Yeah,
but you come off like a dick, and it's like, I'm not a dick. I just can't answer this ridiculous question. I have a herniation, L4, L5. I'm like, dude, go to a doctor, because there's so many like. There's so many different things that could be, you know. But I get trolls. Again, the trolls don't really bother me. The trolls that are annoying, though, that are like, to be like, this is wrong, like, that's basically the thing. I'm like, okay, dude, like, it's just so much deeper. Like, you get a lot of people that they'll watch one Instagram or TikTok video, now they're an expert on this topic, and they don't understand that, like, the video that I'm making is not the same thing that they're commenting on. They're like, this is like, this one dude was talking about hack squats and different leg positions on a hack squat, how it targets, you know, different parts of your legs. You go wide stance, a little bit more adductors; narrow stance, a little bit more quads; higher up, a little bit more glutes; lower down, a little more quads. It's just a little bit more of each one. It's like, show me an IFBB pro. That I'm like, dude, our gym is filled with IFBB pros. Just for 1 second, go outside of your little circle that is like amateurs and go into the professional world. You see people do things totally different, but they just go through this whole tirade. I'm like, bro, oh my God. So I don't even respond to those, because it's like, it's just going to go nowhere. But it's frustrating because other people read that, and, you know, I don't know if it influences them or not. I think most people are pretty normal people and have a brain in their head.
You think they're like bodybuilders versus powerlifters, or you think it's just people
well, yeah,
off the streets?
yeah. So I think generally speaking, you get people that they don't understand there's lots of different ways to train, and like, oh, this is the only way to do it. I'm like, well, what if your goals are that? Well, then yeah. So what you're saying doesn't make sense. So you can't just make blanket statements. Also, I'm teaching to a very, very large audience. So you can't make like hyper specific claims when I'm just putting out general information. Mm-hmm. And that's the, they just say some dumb shit. I'm like, bro, like, that applies in maybe this one particular scenario. Or like, I'm not even saying necessarily you're wrong. Like, oh, well, you should be teaching people that it needs to be an external rotation and an abduction. But I'm like, yeah, but like, people don't know what that fucking means. And this is a 30-second video and not a college dissertation. I'm not going to teach an entire college course on human anatomy and all this stuff. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that, like, you're teaching things that people don't care about or even need to know. So
what percentage of influencers do you think are teaching the wrong thing? I feel like it's a high amount.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about the wrong thing. So there's a difference between the wrong thing and not the right thing.
What's factually correct and what's
Everything
I
is situational, right? So that's the thing, is like there's not necessarily wrong things, but you'll have a lot of people that are like, girls like, oh, this is how I grew my glutes, blah blah blah. And it's like, every single video that you make should be, go back and get different parents because I genetically have a fat ass and anything that I do will work. And guys will be like, this is how you get fucking shredded. Come out of the womb with a six pack. That's basically what they should be saying. It's like, so you get a lot of people like that.
Take this supplement and it'll make you jacked for legs.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
they'll be like, they just think that because it worked for them, that you can apply that to a wide audience, and that's just not true. So I try to teach the fundamentals. Here's what works for everybody. Here's what this movement does. Apply it to your training how you want. So it's not wrong to do a wide stance hack squat. I was doing that yesterday because I'm trying to work my adductors a little bit more because of the workout that we were doing was a lot of quads already. So I came out with a wide stance in the hack squat. It's not wrong. It's just different. And in our particular program for yesterday, it made the most sense. Now, if I was trying to grow my quads, I wouldn't take that stance. But I'm not. I already did that in the workout so far. So that's what we don't get. Is everything's situational. They're just tools. Exercise are just tools. So there's no right or wrong. It's like, oh, what's better, a hammer or a screwdriver? It's like, dude, what does that even mean? Like, there needs to be context around those movements to say, like, I don't know, you're trying to hammer stuff, you're trying to screw drive stuff. Well, I'm trying to screw drive stuff. Well, then probably a screwdriver is better, my friend. Like, you could use a hammer. It's just not going to work as well. Both of them will work. Yeah. But one of them's just going to work a little bit better. And the reality is most people, they just don't lift hard enough. So these little nuances that the internet loves, it really doesn't apply to most people. They just don't train hard enough. So, if you just increase the intensity levels, you will grow faster, and just do general basic movements. And people, they're always looking for this like magical exercise. What's this magical exercise to grow my glutes? Dude, there is no magical exercise. Like, just lift harder. Do the movements that you know. Do your deadlifts and your squats and your RDLs and your lunges and your step-ups and your hip thrusts. But just do them harder. You don't need crazy magical rep schemes and weird variations. You can do those. I'm not saying that they don't work. I'm just saying you're kind of majoring in the minors when you want to talk about like these little tiny things that you're talking about. So just push the intensity harder and then take it as close to failure as you can. Obviously without breaking through, form breakdown, all that kind of stuff. But eat more, sleep more, drink more water. That's just what people don't want to hear. What supplement is going to make me? It's like, dude.
There's no cheat code, dude, to working out.
If there was a cheat code, I would be screaming it from the mountaintops, being like, buy my cheat code.
Everybody would be sharing that, dude.
Yeah, I'd be a billionaire. If there was a cheat code, I would be screaming it from the mountaintops. You think I'd be busting my ass like crazy hard in the gym every single day if there's a cheat code?
The funny thing is, people think that like testosterone is a cheat code or Anavar is a cheat code. It's like, it's not a cheat code either, dude. No matter what, you have to put the work in. No matter what, like the work is work. Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about like professional athletes. A lot of people look at like highly skilled, highly developed professional athletes. Yeah, most of them are probably on some sort of PED. At least the ones winning. Like, oh, well, that's why they're winning. It's like, no, that's not even remotely close to why they're winning. They just work their dicks off. They do everything the right way. And this is the last little piece of the puzzle that they're doing, just to train a little bit harder, to push things a little bit harder, and that's it. So, yeah, I think people don't really understand how much of a benefit it actually has. Obviously, the PEDs help, but, like, just not to the level that people think. Like, oh, well, if I'm a fat slob and I just take this, I'd look like that. It's like, no, you won't. You will look no different whatsoever. You will see zero differences.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to hard training, dieting, conditioning,
I thought I
recovery.
trained hard before I met you.
Everybody
did
thinks
you know
they train
that?
hard.
I thought I did. And I go back and I think about the training I used to do. And I think about my legs being 15 inches probably at the time, my quads. And it's like... You think you train legs, you do not train legs. Like,
yeah.
If you think you train legs and you're training legs by yourself, you probably don't train legs hard enough.
Yeah, no.
It's legs, dude. I did not know about legs until I started with you. It's like, it's insane It's insane, dude, how hard you have to push legs. I used to hate leg day. Hate it, dude. Now I love it. It's my favorite day to go.
Yeah, it's the hardest day, but it's the most rewarding.
It's the hardest day, but it's the most rewarding. Dude, having a fat leg pump, you're like, oh, I got juicy quads.
Yeah,
you get comments, people walking around be like, oh, dude.
Giant legs are a status symbol for a dude.
Yeah. If you have
for anybody, yes, but for dudes, it's like
especially if you rip your pants. I mean,
yeah. I've ripped some pants before.
Yeah, dude.
I
ripped
was
my
drunk
favorite
as shit
pair
in a
of
bar one
American
time.
Eagles. I'm so sad about it.
Oh, you ripped them?
Yeah, dude. And the crazy thing is, you can go and get a new pair, but it's like it's not the same. You know how it is when you wear the same pair of jeans every single day. You know, you might wash them once a week. They just don't wear the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, I ripped a pair of jeans. I was drunk as shit in a bar one time, and dude, this is back in the day. I used to party. Grew up with the Jersey Shore,
Party.
I don't know. I just felt like you know what this situation needs a high kick. I'm gonna high kick to the ceiling. So I did that. I was wearing boots, jeans. I was like, fuck. I was so pissed. Also,
ceilings are my enemies.
Ceilings?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you know when I went to that commercial dive school. We were celebrating the last day. We were about to graduate. So we all got drunk. I slammed a whole bottle of Jose Cuervo. It was a bet. It was a $100 bet, and I took it. But I did slam the whole bottle of Jose Cuervo.
How long did it take you to drink it?
Way too long. Probably
how long?
A couple hours.
Okay.
So when we got back to, a whole fifth,
all right,
which is insane.
Yeah.
I'm throwing up, sick as hell. We're going back to this dive school. It's more like a barracks style. We're down the hallway. It's just me and like two of my other boys, and we're just staring at this drop ceiling. And they're like, I'm gonna punch a hole through it. I'm like, hell yeah, punch a hole. This is just like dude shit right here. Punch a hole through it. Oh fuck yeah. He's like, bet you can't throw your head through it. I'm like, bet you I can, dude. So I literally, nah, dude. There's double doors that lead into this hallway. I go outside to the double doors. I told them to hold the double doors open. They hold the double doors open. I run full sprint as hard as I can through the double doors, through the hallway, jump up, hit my head on the drop ceiling, knock myself out.
Just out cold?
Out cold, snap my ankle. That's how I actually.
That's how your ankle was fucked up?
Yeah, that's how my ankle's fucked up.
That was after drinking a bottle of Jose Cuervo.
Yeah. I got a video of it.
Did you get the $100?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I lost it all when I had to go to the emergency room. That's a whole nother story, dude. I went to the emergency room.
Dude.
And dude, it was, we were in Jacksonville, Florida. The only people in this emergency room, it's like 3 a.m. The only people in this emergency room was college students. So they were like internship college, like nurses. And it's like, oh, cool, you're babes, but you also don't know what you're doing. They're like, yeah, the doctor says we can't prescribe you anything. It's like, no, it's because the doctor's not here. So they just put my leg in a splint, and they're like, yeah, just go home.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right. So literally,
yeah. It's classic Red coaching line. You'll be all right. Dude, so this was way back. So one of my buddies is just a lot of my friends growing up were just completely out of control. So it was at this college party and I had my German friend. He was over here visiting. So me and my buddy lived in Ireland together, and this is where we met him. And we moved back, and he came to visit us. We're at this college party, and this dude, my buddy's a completely insane person. So he's like, we're just walking by this cop car, and he's like, just picks up a brick and throws it through the back windshield. Right? So my German buddy was up on a balcony, and I'm sitting out. I just fucking dipped, dude. You know what I mean? I grew up in the hood. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. I know that was crazy. I'm not trying to be involved in this. I dip. So I run upstairs, and my German buddy is on a balcony. He runs directly through a sliding glass door. So it was closed. He didn't know it was closed. Boom, shatters it, cuts his head open. We go to the emergency room. It takes forever. So anyway, he comes out, and then like it's like maybe 3 a.m. at this point, and he's feeling his head. He's like, Ian, I think there's still glass in my head. I'm like, bro, there's no way that there's glass in your head. He's like, I think I gotta go back. I'm like, dude, listen, like we got good doctors here. Like, you're fine, bro. So a couple hours, like 5 in the morning now, he goes back. There was still glass in his head, dude. They had to cut his head
shit.
open and take it out. I felt like such a dick. But like, I mean, what are the chances?
Dude,
of
the
that?
crazy thing is like I was shit faced going into that ER. First question: have you had any alcohol?
No, I'm sober.
No. She just pumps loads of morphine in my ass, dude.
In
Loads
your
of it.
actual ass?
Nah, my ass cheek,
All right.
but yeah, you know, you never know. You gotta ask. But no, dude, like, come on, how are you not gonna smell that on me? Like, of course,
Yeah.
I'm It's 3 a.m. with a snapped ankle. I got my homeboy next to me, like he's just like trying to stand up straight. It's like, yeah, obviously.
I used to drink way too much. So this is back. I used to be a lifeguard on the beach, Jersey Shore, 8 years. And it's basically the best job I've ever had in my life. I couldn't do it now because I have like responsibilities. But when you're young, dude, it's the best job ever. You start when I was 16 years old, and you just party. Like you sit on the beach. You have to actually be a legitimate athlete because you got to like actually rescue people. But you know, I mean,
I feel like
there's
I've
a
never
system.
asked you. Have you ever rescued someone?
Yeah, dude. I've rescued a lot of people.
Like CPR and shit.
I've never had to do CPR, but yeah,
No.
that happens.
I've had
For
my
sure,
cousin.
it's kind of
like,
traumatic for a lot of people because
my
if you get to the
cousin-
point of CPR, like I think it's like 20% chance. I don't know. I don't know the exact percent, but
Yeah.
you have a very low chance of surviving. If you
Crazy story. Like my cousin told me the story. He was like a volunteer firefighter for the longest time, and then he went on to like try to be more full time. And like the thing about a fire department is they kind of like, oh, you're the bitch boy. You're gonna be cleaning the kitchen while we're gonna cause. You're staying back. So he kind of like stayed back, and he was there. They had a fire call. He was the only one at the fire station. This mom comes screaming in her car, pulls in the parking lot, comes running in the fire department like, help, I need help. My son's choking. It's like, dude, he's the only one there. And like ends up saving this kid's life.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Could you imagine? You're like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
And
I had
then
a-
the firefighters probably came back. They were probably like, that's cool.
Yeah, I had a mom
Really care.
bitch me out so hard one time, and I learned some lessons. So I was sitting on this beach where the water is just like out of control, dude. Like, it's just always bad, rip currents like every single day. So there's these 2 little kids kind of getting like pulled out, and they're on boogie boards. So the dude's like, go out and basically just go talk to them, meaning like they're probably gonna need to be rescued at some point in time. Just go talk to them. So I'm out there. And I'm swimming out there. I'm talking to them like, yo, like you should go over this way. I'm kind of like directing them how to get back in because they don't realize that they're getting pulled out at this point, right? So across the crowd, I hear screaming. I'm like, oh shit. So I swim over there, and it's this old man and this little girl. So grandfather, granddaughter. This girl's like 7. So I have my little rescue can. I give it to the man, and I go grab the girl. And she latches onto my neck and chokes the fuck out of me because she's panicking. And I was immediately like, this is exactly why they tell you not to do this. So
Yeah.
you're supposed to go from behind somebody, grab them kind of almost in like a rear naked choke almost. And I was like, this is exactly why I did. It took me like 5 minutes because I'm getting bashed by waves. So no, there's 2 little kids I was rescuing. That they jumped off their board. They realized they're way over their head. I go over to the old man and the young lady, and there's somebody tries to go and help them. They get swept out in a rip. Now those 2 kids jump off. 2 guys go try to catch them. So now there's like 7 people. Just like it's just a disaster, right?
God.
So they call in all the guards from the other beaches. This girl I'm the only one out there. This girl's just latching onto my neck. I'm getting bashed in the face with waves. Like I can barely breathe. I was kind of fucking scared, dude. Because I was like, I knew I was gonna be all right, but like it was scary because I was like I couldn't breathe.
You're kind of like, is this?
Dude, you have
girl
no
gonna-
idea.
Is this girl gonna kill me right now?
You have no idea how strong a 7-year-old fighting for her life is when they're wrapped around your neck.
Dude, when people are fighting for their life and they have adrenaline is probably your strongest suit that you have.
It's insane.
I
dude.
mean, it's crazy.
It's insane. So anyway, I pull this guy in and this girl, but it takes me like a little bit, right? But he was fine. They were both fine. I was the one that was not fine, right?
You're like,
So I pull him in.
just
I pull them both
dying.
in. At this point, there's just lifeguards just pouring into the water. I pull them in, and everything is fine. We get it all taken care of. And this mom comes up to me maybe like 10 minutes later, just screaming at me. It was the daughter, so the guy's daughter, the girl's mom, screaming at me. You weren't out there fast enough, blah blah blah. And like in my head, I'm like, bitch, I was out. There's no possible way to be out there faster than I
You're
was
like,
because I was already in
she's
the water.
alive, right?
I was already in the water.
Damn.
I was already in the water. Okay, so like there's no possible way to be out there faster. I just happened to be out in the water. So get the fuck out of my face, bitch. I didn't say that because you can't. You just gotta just take it. I'm just sitting there like, God. And obviously she's like pissed off.
Lifeguarding in New Jersey just seems kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Does
which
sound
people
kinda crazy,
in New
yeah.
Jersey are crazy. So anyway, she's just like laying into me. I just gotta just take it. I'm like, this sucks. So then like later in the day, she comes up and she apologizes, which was cool. And apparently she had a child who drowned in like a tub or some situation, and she was like explaining this to me.
Died?
That actually died. Yeah.
Oh.
So then it
It
all
was
made
trauma.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
it made
she was
it all made
traumatized.
sense. But it was
Fuck.
cool that she
All right,
apologized.
yeah, no, that kind
But
of
the
makes
time,
sense.
dude, like she was just saying some things.
At
I
the
was
time,
like,
you're like, why is she being so fucking
yeah, I mean, dude,
rude?
listen, I grew up. I was kind
saved-
of a prick growing up, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that was kind of mean.
My
Chill.
feelings got hurt.
Jeez, lady,
Yeah,
like you're not to go to me
yeah.
that hard. I thought I did. Like, first of all, this was like 10 minutes after like a survival situation for me. Like I was in there struggling. Like one, I could barely breathe. Waves are bashing me in the face. Water's going in my mouth and my nose. I'm like, yo, I'm a good swimmer. Like I was a swimmer in high school. That's my best sport. I was a swimmer. I'm like, I'm struggling out here. I'm just like kind of figuring out what the fuck's going on. And a few minutes later, Slade's just ripping into me. And I'm just like,
You're like, I don't even have my breath caught up yet.
For real,
Just let
though.
me.
And it's like,
let
I'm
my
trying to- yeah,
heartbeat go down a little bit. Damn.
yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that happens. People just get pissed off at you. But it's definitely a fun job though. Like you basically hang out with your boys, sit on the beach, and you get paid to exercise. So you can work out in the morning and you can work out a little bit in the afternoon. But if you're a competitor, dude, if you're a competitor, you're basically like, you can do whatever you want. Because they're big time competitions between cities. The beach patrols have competitions. And it's like a big deal.
You think
Like
that's
you get
your,
high level athletes that come to compete.
You think that's like one of your top favorite jobs that you used to have, or
No, it's my by far favorite
by
job.
far favorite job?
You sit there with your buddies.
What would that pay? What would that pay?
It was like $15 an hour, but this was back
That's
way
a
back.
lot of money.
Yeah, it was way back then. You're a young kid.
Back in 1950, that's a lot.
Yeah,
of money.
back in the late 1900s. You know what I mean?
Back in 1868,
Yeah.
that's a
No,
lot.
I think
of
I
money.
started like early 2000s, maybe like 2001.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it was good money back
I
then.
mean,
'cause
you were
you're a
big
kid.
balling.
Yeah,
Had the newest surfboard.
yeah.
Had the newest flip flops.
Well, I spent it
what
mostly-
else? What else? What is, I mean, I don't know what New Jersey people do, so I never. Been
Yeah,
there.
flip flops. I still wear the same rainbows. Real flip flops. But yeah, I mean, you're making decent money, but I spent most of it on drinking because it was like we would have parties like you see in the movies.
Were you in the gym at this time?
No, I was an athlete, but we would work out. But it was more like body weight stuff. I was a swimmer.
Could you imagine if you could take yourself now?
I got into lifting later,
and
but
apply
yeah.
that to your old self. Like I actually have envisioned this, and I'm like, imagine if I was on the hockey team when like now.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, dude, I would be.
I think about
I
that.
would be top tier athlete in high school.
I think
but
about
it's,
that all
crazy.
the time. Of like,
Yeah.
because like on a serious note, like I hit up. So we have like you work your way up. Where you have like your own beach, and I had a stand partner, and this dude was like the best looking dude on planet Earth, ripped to shreds, all American swimmer. Like he's my boy, right? And we would just sit there, and we were both competitors. So you have like a morning meeting. You get there, it's like 9:20 or something. Usually lasts about 15 minutes. They tell you what beach you're working at, but you know, you get to a certain point, you work the same beach every single day with the same person. And then if you're a competitor, you can go straight to the headquarters. You don't have to be at your beach until like 12:30. So meetings over 9:35 ish. Your beach's got to be set up. But it was cool because with lifeguard, there's like 90 something dudes on the patrol and girls too. But like you get people from all over the place, different colleges. So you learn like different like partying techniques from like, oh, this dude is in a frat at Penn State. This dude's a frat in West Virginia. This guy's a swimmer from here. This guy's a runner from there. Like you learn like so many cool games. Like it was big time about house parties. And, like people go out to the bars and stuff like that too. But like it was big time about house parties because we worked for the same people as the police. So they generally left us alone as long as we're doing crazy shit. But we get houses. Like I lived in a house with 15 dudes. And it's like if everybody
a lot of
invites one
dudes.
person, there's 30 people at your house now.
Yeah, we would have field parties. So
Like-
we would find a farmer's field when the corn was
Just
tall.
some random fucking farmer.
Random farmer. One time we actually went out mudding for my birthday. We had like 15 trucks. And my buddy's like, oh, I got a spot. It's okay. I have permission. All right. So we went out there. It's like bottom ground. So it's always wet. So we're like sending our trucks through this mud, dude, everywhere. We are destroying whose ever field this is. right? My homeboy said it was good. We got permission. So we go back to the town. We're like, oh, we're going to go wash our trucks off. We had all of our fun. We're all done. Nobody got stuck. It was a good time. We got back, dude. Like, I was the last one. I was, like, trailing because I was, like, the last one out. I go to the car wash. It's lit up with cops. Hey, yo. I thought you had permission for this, my boy. Yeah. No, he didn't. He made that shit up. Like,
it's always a good time. Yeah, I mean, if the cops aren't getting involved, I mean, it's not really that great of a story, to be honest.
No, dude, I've ran away from cops a lot of times.
Grew up running away from cops.
I apologize if I ran away from you. Not really. You're just too slow. No, I had one time where
so many times.
When I was a kid, we would do these pranks where if you put your shoulder underneath like most mailboxes, you could pull them out of the ground. So we would do that, and we'd just lean them up against their front door. We just thought it was funny, dude. Like, I don't know, it's like some young, dumb shit you would do. Right? And then, like, we were, like, laying in a cornfield because the cops got called. Obviously, they're making their rounds, looking for the spotlight. And they just, like, put it on us. We're like, oh, shit. Just start running.
Yeah. Dude, luckily me growing up where I grew up, I was definitely running from the cops 24/7. But with lifeguarding, kind of have, like, a free pass. And because our like captain, I mean, honestly, God bless that man, dude. He's the real deal. But I remember we'd have parties. So different lifeguard houses would have parties, and like sometimes we'd be like, okay, like we're gonna party here for a little bit, we're gonna go here for a little bit, and everybody would go. Everyone's riding their beach cruisers, and I just remember going. So our morning meetings, people would show up. Like as long as you could sit up and say here when they announce your name, you were good. So you could lay down, just like literally. Like there were girls that would come in like still dressed up from the bars the night before, in like a skirt, just fucking smashed. Like
here,
as long as you can sit up and say here.
As soon as they say here, they just turn around and walk away.
Yeah. It's just be alive. You know, paint on some sober eyes for a couple minutes, and as long as you looked presentable to the public and did your job, everything was fine. They didn't care about anything else. So I mean, it's like we'd have some of these parties, and it was just like, God damn it, brother. God damn it, guys. This can't be happening anymore. He had like a fucking police rap. She down to the floor. 10:03, noise complaint. 10:13, noise complaint. 10:27, noise complaint. It's just like, we're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, keep it like, he would just like, it's not like stop drinking. It's just stop getting caught by the cops. Like, stop being so ridiculous. Like, be smarter about it.
So we got to start learning how to run faster. All right.
Yeah. It was just like, I mean, you would have parties and the cops would show, but it wasn't really like, we weren't getting in trouble. They would just in those scenarios, they just basically report back to the captain, like, "Yo, dude, clean it up, captain."
when I was in college, dude, we'd be drinking at a frat house, and like the cops, they would sit in the parking lots because as soon as you would step into the parking lot, it's like public, right? So they would wait, and this dude just didn't know. And I was like, yo, you shouldn't walk out there. He's like, oh, fuck you. Like, I know better. I'm like, okay. And he like steps, dude. He touches. Dude, cops are running after him, dude. It's like slow motion. I'm like at the door, and I'm like, come on. It's like slow motion. The cop just ramsacks him.
Yeah, so I remember running from this time I remember so vividly running from the cops. And we used to run all the time because we just do dumb shit, and it was mostly in our neighborhoods. So it's like, dude, we know you're not going to catch us, right? So we're downtown, right? This is like, there's like stores, and it's in the middle of the street, and it was all closed. The wintertime is at night, and we're shooting. We'd have like bottle rocket and like Roman candle wars. Usually it's on the beach though, but this was we decided to do it right down Asbury Avenue where there's all these stores, literally like one block over from the police station. So we'd all stand in a circle. A bunch of these would light Roman candles. As soon as they would light, then the other people would run, and then once they start shooting, then people chase after you. So we're doing that. We just hear. His cops just ripping around the corner. They're just chasing all of us. I'm just running, dude. And I'm running down this back alley. And I remember going through someone's yard, and it's dark out, and there's these little shrubs. So I got to just jump over the shrubs, but there's chicken wire fenced, but I didn't see it. So I jumped, I clipped my knee. I fell on my head and my neck. And at the time, I wasn't feeling anything, so my adrenaline was just through the roof. Dude, my neck was so fucked up. I ran into this like youth group, like building. So it's nighttime, and I just sat in the bathroom. I was like, here's like a little sanctuary I can hide out in. So I hid out in this like youth group bathroom for like an hour. That's crazy. And I'm like, all right, cool. So dude, the next day, I thought I was dead, bro. I thought I was like paralyzed. My neck, because I was running full speed, clipped my knee, wham, right on my head. And my buddy gets caught. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, just tell me stories. Like, yeah, dude, they caught me. We're like teenagers, right? We're not grown men at this point. We're like, 15. And he's like, dude, they just started fucking me up. They started just punching me in the face. I was like, yeah, that sucks. You got to run faster, my boy. Lesson learned.
Oh, dude, I've had it where like parties would get busted and we'd be jumping fence. You know, like you have backyards. This is like the last fence. My buddy's talking shit to these cops. You slow fucking pigs. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that, bro. He literally gets caught in a fence. It's like karma just attacked him, bro. And I'm like, I can't save you. It's too late. You know, like it was like one of the moments where he was caught. And it's like, I'm so close, but yet so far because the cops are right there. He was talking shit, literally like fence to fence. It's like, and he just, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah. I've had, so the cops in my hometown were like super strict because it's a beach resort. And it's like, there's basically, you're either rich or you're poor. So when stuff that goes on, it's like, dude, they were cracking the whip hard when it comes to any of that stuff, partying especially. It was a dry town. So there's no bars, no liquor stores, anything like that. But like people are partying. There's $1 million beachfront mansions. People are partying. So you could just feel when a party was like, yo, this is getting a little out of control. And then we would just leave. But the number of times, dude, I remember.
Wait. You got to give me the, no, go ahead first.
All right. So I was at this party. So this girl that I was friends with, this cop had this like massive crush on her. But anyway, I'm at this party. And dude, I was downstairs. I was in a bedroom. These two girls. I was like 18. I was like, yes, dude. I'm about to have a threesome with these girls. This is the best night of my life. I'm fucked up. We're just having a good time. And I'm making out with these girls. And I hear knocking on like bang, bang, bang on the door. I'm like, fuck off. Bang, bang, bang. Police. I'm like, no. So anyway, they round up everybody in this party, dude. Everybody. They're giving out underage drinking. They're giving out tickets for everything. And I see this cop. I'm like, I got to take a swing here. I was like, yo, you friends with so-and-so? He looks at me. He's like, oh, you got to get going, don't you? And I was like, yeah. And he let me go. I was one of 3 people that they let go. It was like 35
Actually,
people.
I do got something to, I got to get some milk at the store for my mom.
Yeah. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Smell you later.
Dude, like I was gonna
That was
ask you.
devastating,
I was
dude.
gonna ask you like your craziest party story because I have one that's just like.
Oh, I got a lot, dude.
Just.
I mean,
like,
I don't know. What do you mean by crazy? What do you mean by crazy? Because
Well,
there's so many different types of partying stories. Like some are crazy, like
like,
shit,
dude,
I almost died.
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
this was like an awesome moment in my life.
No,
this
no,
was like,
no. Like I'll tell you my story. You just like take it
okay.
and run with it from that. But like, dude, we had this party. I was like 16. And it was at this girl's mom's duplex. It was a brand new duplex. It was brand new. She like had it was open invite. Anybody like was invited. Everything was cool. And then like this group of people came. I just like had this uneasy feeling that things weren't gonna go very well. And like when they showed up, shit just started getting destroyed. They like people were smoking cigarettes in this brand new duplex and just ashing on the carpet. On the carpet, dude. And then this girl fell on a glass table, shatters the glass table, right? And then falls into the TV. TV breaks. I'm like, this is my cue to leave. So I leave, but the next day, my boy stayed the night. So I had to go pick my boy up. So I go back. It's like 6 a.m. because like our parents are bitching at us that we're not home, obviously. So I walk in, dude, like there's mustard, ketchup, hot sauce on the ceiling, on the walls, dude, everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. I've never seen something so crazy in my life. Dude, they pretty much turned the refrigerator into a trash can. Someone like ate pistachios, and there's pistachios throughout the whole house. The most fucked up part is like her dad's ashes were just sprawled out in the living room.
Oh man,
Bro,
that's devastating.
That's
like
a
dick move.
That is insane. That is probably it has to be my craziest story. Because like to see that, dude, that's like a whole nother level of craziness.
Yeah.
That's like a Project X kind of party.
So we had this lifeguard parties 4th of July, and we used to take apart kegs. You can take them apart, and we'd fill them up with like whatever random like jungle juice, whatever. And you can re-tap them and tap it, right? So this one dude on the patrol worked for Red Bull. So we had basically like this huge 4th of July party. a keg of Red Bull and vodka for white, some like blue Gatorade and vodka and jungle juice for the red, white, and blue kegs. We had beer, and the one dude that worked on the patrol rented hot tubs. So we had like 4 hot tubs, and it was just like a board shorts and bikini. So like, you know, most of the work is done for you already. Everybody's there just dressed up, fucked up. They're dressed up in, you know, board shorts and bikinis. So you're doing all right. So everyone's just going crazy. People are spilling out the windows. This dude runs through a wall, literally runs through the wall. There's like 2, we lived on top of all these stores. Somebody runs through a wall, just like basically opens it up into the next apartment over. So the dude is like, all right, everybody out, dude. And it's just like, oh man, we're so close to like having a good time. So anyway, we go to like 2 houses over. We go there, me and my buddy, and like these dudes are, you know, it's another big party. And we're just playing beer pong, whatever. And like, dude, we're just talking shit. You know how like me and you talk shit all the time, but we're just running people. But we don't know these people either. So we're just running shit. And like, so we ended up leaving. They followed us. They followed us out of the party. I guess they were pissed off. It's like, bro, we're just like having fun. It's not that serious. So they follow us out into the parking lot where I live, and this dude gets in my face, and I just punch this dude in the face. I'm like, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to get rolled up on by these dudes. It's like there's like 5 of them. There's 2 of us. I'm like, yo, at this point, like, it's gonna happen. So and then they just ran away. So I go upstairs, and there's still people just like pouring out of this house, but everybody's super fucked up. And so I just go back drinking. People are partying. There wasn't as many people there as earlier, but dude, just girls in hot tubs, people ripping shots, going crazy. I'm just super drunk. So they they put me through the wall because I got into this fight. So I'm getting super drunk, and they put me through the hole in the wall into like this apartment next door. It was like more of like storage or something, but like nobody was there. So I wake up in the morning because we all lived there, and you know, if you're super drunk, you wake up in the morning, it's all lifeguards. People are going to wake you up. Yo, we got work. Get up. We have work to go. So I wake up. It's like 11 a.m. I got to work. I was supposed to be there at 9.
Oh, man.
I just wake up. You just have that feeling. You're just like, oh, no, something is not right. So I wake up. It's like 11 a.m. So I call the beach patrol. I'm like, yo, I'm coming in. They're
I'm
just
a
like,
fucking piece of shit.
Yeah,
I'm
a piece
sorry.
of shit. Yeah. So I come in, and they're just like, they knew everything that was going on. They're just like, so what happened? I was like, yeah, I just slept in, dude. And they're just like, they knew it. This was
You
cool about
smell,
they
you
just
smell
knew
a fireball, you
yeah,
liar.
no, they don't care about the drinking. It was like, it was us getting somebody going through the wall, having this huge party, cops show up, me get into a fight, and then I get thrown into another apartment. They knew everything that was going on. I was just like, yeah, it's never going to happen again. They were like, yeah, don't do that again. Meaning like, oh, don't show up to work. But like, don't show up to work late, but we know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good story
like,
to end it on, dude.
You think about those times, like where you used to be and how you are now, like, dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
Think about
I've come
how
a
much
long way.
life has
I was
changed.
a young man. I was like 18 years old then. A long time ago. But it was a good time. So first Red5tribe podcast, first day unemployed. How's it feel, Hunt?
Dude, it's been amazing.
It's been a good time.
Feels good. Feels free.
Boom.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I've been super welcomed. Like, it's like I'm ready to get it kind of feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I feel
I'm
the
excited.
same way, dude.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Ready to blow this podcast up?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
YouTube videos. We got a lot of collabs coming up for YouTube, and then we'll get them on the pod as well. I think it's gonna be a good time. I think you guys are gonna really enjoy it. And I got a lot of stories. I'm gonna try to not tell too many stories that make me look really bad, because I got a lot of those. But we'll tell some good stories.
That was about 20 stories out of 1,000 that we remember right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for showing up. Red5performance.com for the hottest programs in the street. Glue Gladiator, Bench Monster, Viking Warrior, Mercenary. Red5performance.com.
.com.